Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA. Today with the first video from the Blood Room. If you haven't seen a making of the room, check the video out. And today, the first Blood Talk from this new room will be about Paddy Pimblett and what is next for him. So stay tuned. Paddy Pimblett just got his third win in the UFC. He has 3 fights now in the UFC, 3 wins, all 3 by finish, 2 submissions, 1 knockout. And it was in London. I was there, I saw it live against Jordan Levitt, a very, very good grappler. And in my opinion, until now, his toughest competition. The first 2 guys he fought in the UFC were both released after their fight. They were not cans. There are no cans in the UFC, in my opinion, if we put out CM Punk and all these guys. They were legit fighters, but they were not at the level of ranked UFC fighters, not at all. But in my opinion, it was the perfect start for Paddy. 2 nice wins. Now he stepped up to competition against Jordan Levitt. In my opinion, a dangerous fight for him because Jordan is not the best striker, of course, but he's slick grappling. You saw that in the fight, he had slick grappling. But Paddy proved that he had even slicker grappling. And Paddy proved again that he definitely has the urge and the ability to finish fights. And that's what we as fans want to see, right? And now the question posed, what is next for Paddy Pimblett? He now has 3 fights in UFC, so 3 wins, so the competition should go up. He should not fight guys that are from the value of their name below a guy like Jordan Levitt. The question now is to solve this puzzle of who you should fight next. For me, there are 2 approaches. One approach is the Sean O'Malley approach. Fight out your contract against not the highest levels of competition, against not the most dangerous guy for you. Get some good highlight reel wins and fight out your contract until you get a better one. The other one is, of course, the title reign, that you go make your way to the title. You do that by facing the toughest and highest ranked competition you can face. For that, we would need to know from Paddy the Baddy Pimblett how his contractual situation is. I think pre the UFC London fight right now, he said that he has a new contract and he earns good money right now. Now, what is good money? I don't know what it is for him. If it's really that good money, and if it's like a 5-fight contract, I would say, hey, Paddy, go for the title shot. You know what I mean? Go up the ladders, up the rankings. If not, if it's just a better contract than before, but not the best, and if it's like 3 fights, I would say, Paddy, fight 3 more maybe unranked or very high ranked guys that are favorable matchups for you. Get some nice highlight reel wins, of course. You can still lose, but you know what I mean. And then you have a strong base to negotiate again with the UFC and get a better contract. And then you can still do your title run. Because he's 27, he's young. He did not hit his prime yet, the normal fighting prime. So that's the question that would have to be answered to do a clear, perfect script for him. But let's just say he wants to maybe have a little bit of a middle thing, okay? He wants to get to the title, but in my opinion, he should not, what Patrick should not do right now, or Paddy, sorry, what he should not do right now is fight, I don't know, a top 15 fighter immediately. In my opinion, it's wrong. If you look at the top 15, most of the guys are dangerous matchups for him. I mean, like you have a guy like Ismagulov, I think he's ranked number 14. Should he fight him right now? I don't know, it's a tough fight. Guys like Arman Tsarukyan, I think he's number 8, 9, 10, 11, something like that. Should he fight a guy like Arman Tsarukyan? No, bro. Arman is a problem, man. And I don't say Paddy can't be a problem. I just say Paddy, in my opinion, as of right now, Arman is probably too risky for him. Like, especially if you look at what he has to gain from Arman Tsarukyan fight. Arman is coming up, but he's not the big name. So the thing he has to gain is much lower than what he has to lose in a fight, in a difficult fight like that. So in my opinion, what Paddy should do before, I think he's one fight away from a top 15 fight. But I believe he should fight at least one guy, maybe two, we'll see, but at least one guy that is not ranked but has a name. I think about a guy like Jim Miller or Clay Guida, guys that have a strong name, that are legends, that are a little bit older maybe not as fast as him, but very experienced. Like Jim Miller is not an easy fight at all, because Paddy fights very recklessly, and for a legend has so much, like a guy like Jim Miller has so much experience. He's the most experienced fighter in the UFC. So you can't make him nervous by being that reckless, crazy guy. He's faced that 1,000 times before. He saw all that. So a guy like Jim Miller is a very good matchup in terms of the name. He has a big name. He's the record holder for the most wins and fights whatsoever. He's a big name in the MMA community. He would be a respectable opponent where everybody says, hey, if you beat Jim Miller, he's old, but respect, because Jim Miller's a good fighter. And it's a good matchup for Paddy because it's not the most risky matchup that he can possibly have. But it's still a test, a tough test, which will give you a great name on your resume. And after you fight Jim Miller, or Clay Guida, which is probably a little bit of an easier fight, not an easy fight, but a little bit easier than a guy like Jim Miller. And there are some other names, of course, that you could bring in, but for me, Jim Miller is really a good matchup for Paddy. For both the guys, like Jim Miller, what does he have to lose? If Jim Miller loses, okay, wow, he lost against Paddy Pimblett. What a shame. No, it's not. But if he wins against Paddy, Jim Miller has a jackpot. So that would be a good fight for both of them. I would really like that fight. And then if he wins against Jim Miller, especially if he finishes Jim Miller, he should then face a top 15 guy like Ismagulov, like Dan Hooker maybe would be a great matchup. Maybe even Tony Ferguson, maybe. That would be an interesting fight, definitely. Because Tony is so experienced, but yeah, I don't know. But that would be a very interesting fight. A very interesting fight. So in the future, there are so many good fights for Paddy, also right now. But I believe Jim Miller is a great matchup for him. I would match him up against him if I would be the matchmaker, and they both would agree. But of course, there are many other guys that you could match up him for or two as well. So write down in the comments who you would match up against Paddy Pimblett, which fight makes the biggest sense for you, and which path should he take? Should he take the path of the Sean O'Malley path, fighting guys that are not the biggest threats for them, and just get their win money, their show money, probably bonus money, finished for the highlight reel, and wait for another contract? Or should he climb up the ladder and say, hey, I'm a Scouser, I want that title lot, and get to the title shot? Make his way to the title shot. Not that it's an easy road, but try to make it. Write in the comments, it would really interest me. Let's have a conversation about that. As always, guys, make sure to eat your vegetables, stay healthy, and see you in the next Blood Talk again from the Bloodsport Studios. Bye-bye, guys. Bloodsport out.
Eat your vegetables.